Hello everyone, and welcome to Mystic Whisper, your guide to the mystical and the magical. Today, we're diving into the incredible story of Jacobo Grinberg, a scientist whose theories might just change the way you look at reality forever. Grinberg wasn't just an ordinary researcher, he was a trailblazer who combined neuroscience with spirituality to propose that our reality might actually be a hologram. And if that wasn't mind-bending enough, he vanished without a trace at the peak of his career. Was it a conspiracy? An experiment gone wrong? Or something even more mysterious? To understand the mystery surrounding Jacobo Grinberg, we need to start with his life and what drove him to explore the frontiers of human consciousness. Born in Mexico City in 1946, Grinberg was exposed to both scientific rigor and spiritual mysticism from an early age. This dual influence shaped his career and fueled his quest to understand the mysteries of the human mind. He earned his degree in psychology at the National Autonomous University of Mexico, where he became fascinated with how the brain perceives reality. But he didn't stop there. He went on to earn a PhD in physiological psychology at New York City University, where he delved deeper into the brain's complex functions. However, Grinberg's work wasn't limited to traditional science. He was equally intrigued by the mystical and metaphysical, particularly the ancient knowledge held by indigenous Mexican cultures. This curiosity led him to spend extensive time with shamans and healers, learning their secrets and observing their practices. These experiences had a profound impact on him and inspired him to explore how these mystical experiences could be scientifically explained. Unlike many of his contemporaries, Grinberg believed that to truly understand consciousness, one must look beyond the laboratory and into the mystical traditions that have shaped human thought for millennia. Grinberg founded the Laboratory for Psychophysiology at the National Autonomous University of Mexico, where he aimed to merge these two worlds, the scientific and the spiritual. His groundbreaking research on brain activity and consciousness sought to prove that our minds are not just passive observers of the universe, but active participants in shaping reality. He believed that the mind could alter the physical world by interacting with a deeper, underlying field of consciousness. This field, according to Grinberg, is not confined by space or time, but is a holographic matrix where all things are interconnected. His radical ideas were not just theoretical, they were based on empirical data gathered from his extensive experiments, many of which combined EEG measurements with traditional healing rituals. This holistic approach to science was groundbreaking because it challenged the prevailing scientific norms of the time, which often dismissed anything that couldn't be measured or quantified in a lab. Grinberg's work suggested that there was much more to human consciousness than previously understood, that the brain was not just a biological computer, but a gateway to a higher dimension of reality. This bold perspective attracted attention and controversy in equal measure, making him a polarizing figure in both scientific and spiritual communities. Yet, his relentless pursuit of truth, regardless of where it led, made him a revolutionary thinker whose impact is still felt today. Now, let's dive deeper into Jacobo Grinberg's most controversial and mind-bending idea, the holographic theory of consciousness. This theory is built on the foundation that our perception of reality is not a straightforward reflection of the external world, but is actually a construction of our mind. Inspired by the work of physicist David Bohm, who proposed the idea that the universe might be a hologram, Grinberg took these ideas further by applying them to the realm of consciousness. But what exactly does this mean? Imagine a hologram, an image that appears three-dimensional, but is actually made from a two-dimensional surface. Every part of a hologram contains the whole image, just at a lower resolution. Grinberg believed our reality operates in a similar way, suggesting that our brains create the reality we experience by interacting with a holographic field of consciousness. This field, which he called the synergy field, exists beyond the limits of time and space, meaning that all points of consciousness are interconnected and can influence each other instantly, regardless of physical distance. According to Grinberg, this holographic field is where all information exists simultaneously, in a state of potential, and our brains decode this information to create the reality we perceive. This process is not unlike tuning a radio to different stations. Our brains are the receivers, capable of accessing different frequencies of reality depending on our state of consciousness. This theory could potentially explain a range of phenomena that science struggles to understand, such as psychic abilities, remote viewing, and even shared experiences among people who have never met. If everything in the universe is interconnected through this field, then information transfer isn't limited by the physical laws we know. The implications of this theory are profound. If our perception is just a holographic projection, then what we consider reality is merely one version of many possible realities encoded within the synergy field. This means that the universe might be far more flexible and dynamic than we ever imagined. Rather than a fixed, objective world, we could be living in a subjective reality that is continually being co-created by all conscious beings. Grinberg's theory suggests that each of us is not just a passive observer, but an active participant in shaping our world, offering a radical shift in how we understand our place in the universe. Furthermore, the holographic theory challenges the fundamental nature of matter and consciousness. If reality is a holographic projection, then what we perceive as solid matter is just a dense form of energy, and our thoughts and emotions could be just as real, influencing this field at a subtle level. This could mean that our collective consciousness might have a far greater impact on the physical world than we currently understand. Grinberg's theory opens up new avenues for exploring how meditation, intention, and mindfulness could potentially alter reality itself, making us powerful creators in our own right. Let's take a closer look at some of Jacobo Grinberg's most groundbreaking experiments, which sought to provide evidence for his theories. One of his most famous experiments was designed to test the idea that human consciousness could synchronize across distances, supporting the concept of a holographic universe where everything is interconnected. Grinberg brought pairs of people into his lab and had them meditate together until they reached a deep, synchronized state of consciousness. Then, the participants were separated and placed in different rooms far apart, yet still connected by their shared meditative experience. Using electroencephalography, e.g., Grinberg monitored the brain waves of both individuals. Astonishingly, even when separated by physical space, their brain waves showed remarkable synchronicity, as if they were still in the same room, meditating together. This phenomenon could not be explained by any known scientific principles of the time, suggesting that their minds were communicating through a non-local field, precisely what Grinberg's theory of the synergy field would predict. This experiment was a significant step toward proving that consciousness is not confined within the physical limits of the brain, but extends beyond, interacting with a larger field of existence. Grinberg didn't stop there. He conducted further experiments involving shamans and healers, individuals who were thought to have an exceptional ability to tap into the synergy field. By measuring brain activity during shamanic rituals and healing sessions, Grinberg found that certain brainwave patterns were associated with these altered states of consciousness. The results showed that these individuals could enter a unique state where their consciousness seemed to expand, accessing information and abilities beyond ordinary human capabilities. In one experiment, Grinberg recorded significant shifts in brain activity when a shaman performed a distant healing ritual for a person located miles away, once again suggesting non-local interaction. Grinberg's findings implied that the brain might function not just as a receiver, but also as a transmitter, capable of influencing the synergy field and, by extension, reality itself. This perspective could revolutionize our understanding of consciousness and its potential powers. It hints at the possibility that human beings, through practices like meditation, ritual, and focused intention, can alter the fundamental fabric of reality. These experiments were controversial because they challenged the mainstream scientific belief that consciousness is a mere byproduct of brain activity. Instead, Grinberg proposed that consciousness is a fundamental aspect of reality, interconnected with all things through the synergy field. Despite the initial skepticism from the scientific community, Grinberg's experiments were groundbreaking because they offered a new framework for understanding the brain's relationship to consciousness. They suggested that the mind is not isolated within the skull, but is a dynamic, interactive part of a greater whole, capable of influencing and being influenced by a vast field of consciousness. This was a radical departure from the mechanistic view of the brain and opened up new possibilities for exploring the depths of human potential and the mysteries of the universe. Grinberg's work was laying the groundwork for a new science of consciousness, one that embraced both the empirical rigor of neuroscience and the wisdom of ancient spiritual traditions. Now, let's talk about the part of Jacobo Grinberg's story that turns it from an academic inquiry into one of the greatest mysteries of modern times, his sudden and unexplained disappearance. In December 1994, just as he was on the verge of potentially groundbreaking discoveries, Grinberg disappeared from his home in Mexico City. The circumstances of his disappearance are as strange as his theories. Friends and family described Grinberg as upbeat and excited about his work in the days leading up to his disappearance. He had plans for new experiments and was looking forward to further exploring the implications of his theories. Yet, one day he was simply gone. There were no signs of forced entry into his home, no evidence of a struggle, and no clues as to where he might have gone. His personal belongings, including his research notes, were left untouched, adding to the confusion. The police launched an investigation, but leads quickly ran dry. Even more perplexing, Grinberg's wife, who was the last person to see him, vanished shortly after, leaving even more questions unanswered. This led to a flurry of speculation and numerous theories about what could have happened to him. Some theories suggest that Grinberg's disappearance was orchestrated by powerful entities threatened by his revolutionary ideas. Perhaps his research was getting too close to uncovering secrets that certain groups wanted to remain hidden, secrets about the nature of reality, consciousness, and the potential power of the human mind. Others believe he might have been abducted by government agencies interested in his work, possibly to harness his findings for covert experiments. These theories are fueled by the fact that during the 1990s, there was an increased interest in mind control and psychic phenomena by various governments, making Grinberg's research a potential target. But there are also more mystical explanations. Some believe that Grinberg might have intentionally disappeared as part of a deeper spiritual or scientific experiment. Was he trying to access the synergy field in a more profound way, stepping beyond the physical realm to explore the deeper dimensions of consciousness? Did he succeed in transcending the boundaries of space and time, as his theories suggested was possible? There's even speculation that he might have been conducting an experiment that went wrong, leading to his untimely vanishing. This theory aligns with his interest in pushing the boundaries of consciousness and reality, potentially at great personal risk. No matter what theory you subscribe to, the fact remains that Jacobo Grinberg's disappearance is one of the most perplexing mysteries of the modern era. It's as if reality itself responded to his theories in the most dramatic way possible. Some say that his vanishing could be seen as proof of his work, a demonstration that reality is indeed more malleable and mysterious than we ever imagined. Whether it was due to external forces or a deliberate choice on his part, Grinberg's disappearance remains unsolved, leaving us with more questions than answers. Could his vanishing be an unintended consequence of delving too deeply into the nature of consciousness? Was he silenced because he was on the brink of a revolutionary breakthrough? Or is he still out there somewhere, continuing his research in a place beyond our understanding? Although Jacobo Grinberg disappeared under mysterious circumstances, his ideas continue to influence and inspire a new generation of scientists, thinkers, and spiritual seekers. His work represents a daring attempt to bridge the gap between science and spirituality, suggesting that these two realms are not mutually exclusive, but are instead two sides of the same coin. Grinberg's theories challenge us to rethink everything we know about reality, consciousness, and the universe. If his ideas about a holographic universe are correct, then each of us has the potential to tap into a greater reality, to access knowledge and abilities beyond the ordinary. Grinberg's legacy lives on through his writings, lectures, and the ongoing research of those who were inspired by his work. His theories have opened up new avenues of inquiry in fields ranging from quantum physics and neuroscience to psychology and spiritual studies. Today, scientists are increasingly exploring concepts that echo Grinberg's ideas, such as the interconnectedness of all things, the nature of consciousness as a fundamental aspect of the universe, and the potential for the human mind to influence reality in profound ways. His work has also inspired a renewed interest in ancient spiritual practices and their potential to unlock new understandings of the mind and reality. But perhaps the most significant impact of Grinberg's work is the way it encourages us to keep questioning and exploring. He showed us that there is still so much we don't know about the universe and our place within it. His willingness to challenge established norms and push beyond conventional boundaries reminds us that true innovation often requires a willingness to venture into the unknown, to explore ideas that may seem radical or even impossible. As we continue to explore the nature of reality and consciousness, Grinberg's work serves as a powerful reminder that the answers we seek might lie beyond the visible, in the vast, interconnected field of consciousness that he so passionately believed in. So, what do you think happened to Jacobo Grinberg? Was he silenced for his radical ideas, or did he manage to tap into a deeper reality that we are just beginning to understand? Could his disappearance be the ultimate proof of his theories about the holographic nature of reality? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Until next time, keep questioning reality and stay curious.